So it's the beginning of August and it's time for another tour. So July was quite good, lots of harvest coming out, lots of tomatoes and cucumbers. Broad beans have just been out now, so they've been harvesting, and the peas. My brassicas, I don't know, not great. I'll show you. Gonna have to start this end today because the sun's quite bright. So let's show you down this end first and we'll walk backwards. So this is the planning stage. This is my winter project. I'm going to put 2 beds in here. I think this is how I'm going to do it. Maybe a bit of space between so I can get the mower in between. And these are going to be for fruit. I've been trying to work out what's growing on this plant here. Is it apples? Certainly isn't much, whatever it is. It's like 3 fruits on it. So I'm not sure whether to keep it or not, because it is in the middle of my bed. So the swing in this area is trying to be a bit tidy, although I've not had a lot of time in June and July, so maybe a winter kind of project. But I've kept the grass down, kept the weeds away. And look at this rose. This rose has been bringing out some lovely flowers. But maybe I need to cull it back or to tie it back. But it's bringing out some lovely flowers. So many. And the insects love them. I know we don't normally see the junky side of allotments, but this is a natural allotment and this is my junky side. I'm actually putting this fence up here, although it's just got blown about a bit in the last lot of wind. And behind here I'm going to put all this junk behind. So I've got a section for junk and stuff. So that's a little project, but I need to strengthen that. But that'll be done over the next few days. So I left this section to see what was growing, and I see there has been a few raspberries come out on it. So maybe this will be another little raspberry bed. I shall keep this and work on that during the winter. Get that going. So this is my squash bed, and noticing today I have a big courgette, and that one over there, well I never, and that one over there is the pumpkin. And I originally thought I planted all pumpkins, so I don't know quite what happened. But these little random ones here, these came from a skip in the garden centre. So I've stuck them in the ground and was hoping they were pumpkins. But unfortunately, I don't think they are. The pumpkin's doing well. So in this one in July, the onions, the pound sable onions came out, and I put some carrots, St. Valerie in here, and you can just see maybe along with a big weed there, there's just a few coming through. Next door is my random tomato bed. So these were all random tomatoes that grew in the ground on my polytunnel, just self-seeded, and I've stuck about 9 plants in this bed and totally neglected it, so they're just doing their own thing. And this bed was originally just full of manure and nothing else, but there is some fruits coming out. And in the back I have an outdoor cucumber. I need to chase that up, see if there's any cucumbers. And on the very back is the courgettes, which are going mad. So the next bed along is the brassica bed. These were just random ones. I think these are sprouts. Plus I think there's some cauliflowers and maybe a couple of broccolis at the back. Although the cauliflower is not looking particularly great. But we've had no water here at all. So next bed along is my veg in one bed, which you can see a video of on another playlist. This is doing quite well. Excuse the shadows, it's all the wrong light today. So we have the leeks, the kale, you can see the board beans are sprouting up in between the kale. And then the chard, beetroot, French beans, and then the runner beans. Although I think that structure's looking a bit lean-ting. Might have to have a look at that. Strawberries, these need looking at. The runners are coming out now and it needs a good weed. That's the next bed for sorting out and the runners to be sorted. And asparagus, that's really gone tall. And my bucket potato in a bucket of turd-talons. It's got something growing in there, not quite sure what, but we will have to reveal that if we haven't done it by the time this video is posted. We still have some potatoes in the tubs and in the shopping basket, although we have dug some up and ate them. This is the lavender. I've got so much lavender here, most of it was here before I started. But the bees, the wasps, are absolutely loving it. We've got some hair. There's more hair. Look at the size of these going. Look at the bees all around it. They love it. And then more lavender up here. It's got so big. Look at the bees, look at the wasp in it. There's just loads of them. It's just humming. I have a random cold frame just in the middle of the path, not really quite sure why. So I moved my carrots. The carrots were behind the peas, the back there, but they didn't get any attention. So I brought them out here now, they're out in the open, and I think they get a water, they get looked at, and I've actually gone through and sorted them out a bit as well. This bed has the rhubarb bed, and I've took all the leaves off, but they're coming back again now. And I stuck a random couple of tomatoes here, which are also growing. So this is my herb garden. The sweet peas are nearly done. Those are the original ones that were here, but not really done too much. I've added 2 sunflowers here, and just the rest of the herbs, the mint, the curry plant, etc. Thyme. So I stuck a few sunflowers I had lying around, just scattered them around. These are the onions. These I bought really late as sets, and they were sat in the bag, and I thought, well, I needed to get them in somewhere, so I made this little bed here, but I'm not sure. They're still green and they're still growing, even though they're flopped over. They were in a cage, but now I've taken them out of the cage. I'm not sure, probably just going to leave them. And the sweet corn, look at the sweet corn, whether it's, look at the growth. Excuse the shadow. Look, smaller, goes up in size. How can that be? That is very random. And if you see, this is not even waist height. And if you look at the sweet corn in the tunnel in a minute, you can see how tall that is. So behind the sweet corn is 4 tomatoes. These were for my neighbour who wanted 4 tomatoes and never came and collected them, so I've stuck them back in the ground. Don't like wasting anything. There's the bumblebee. Over to my brassica bed. This has ended up to be a bit of a random, bit of a mismatch of all sorts now. I've even lost the plot of what I've actually put in, so it's a case of waiting and see. The first row I haven't got a clue. I put some broccoli in the back there. I'm pretty sure I've got some sprouts in the middle. And I think there's even some cabbages there, maybe. Yeah, there are cabbages there. Well, they've even ended up sticking leeks just to use up the bit of space. But it is a bit of a mismatch, and this is what I'm not too keen about. So next year this won't happen. Just got these 2 fuchsias. They were reduced to £1, and haven't had many fuchsias this year, so I thought it was worth a go. A random tomato on the table. Why is that? Some are runner beans. These were really late because I stuck them in too early, as you might have seen on previous videos, but they've caught up now and they are giving a good yield of runner beans. They're doing pretty good. I really don't like this sun angle. It's not really the normal way I like to film. But the sun shines this way. It's lovely listening to the birds in the morning. So my next bed along is the peas, and I saw Charles Dowding mentioned about the alderman peas and about a good crop and how tall they grow, and we're not short of that at all. We've got a good crop, great crop out the peas, although they're a bit slow to start. They're quick catching up now. This first bunch was grown in the deep trays, and then the next lot was sown in the ground. But they've caught on good now. So this is my sunflower challenge, and I'm certainly not going to get the tallest one because now they've flowered. I'm probably about 4 feet high, 5 foot high, but at least I've grown some. That's the main thing. Let's have a look. And this one. So have to wait and see my unusual sunflower, see if that works. So next door is my compost bin, and I just love looking at these stalks, little broccoli stalks. Look at them. It's incredible how one seed can grow something so thick. It's incredible the growing. As I've said in the past, this is my first year, so I'm loving everything that happens. The fact that I can even grow something. So the raspberry bed, there's a few raspberries out here, but I'm sure the birds will have them before I get in there. There's actually a few in there now, but this has got so crowded. How do you even get to these ones at the back? Definitely needs rethinking. And look at these weeds. The animals love them. This is my potato bed, and yes, it is full of weeds. And I'm just digging them up when I want them. But yes, I don't tidy my plot before the tour. It's as natural as it can be. I'm amazed at how tidy, when someone uses my hose pipe, how tidy it is when they leave it back. Certainly not that tidy when I use it. Here's the lavender on the end again, just hammering with bees. And then this is the rest of my flower garden, which isn't doing too much. Let's go and have a look at the apples. So this is the apple tree. It's actually producing a few apples. Getting in the way of the sun again. So the polytunnel is still doing very well. And on the left now is the tomatoes. that was in the hanging basket. I've stuck in a pot to try and get better roots, but still no tomatoes from it yet. And my tomato tumbler is not really doing a great deal. Strawberries are sending out some runners, so I have to put this on the ground and maybe plot some of these runners up. And the tomatoes, these are doing good. These are the Elsa Craig, 3 lots. The marigolds are done. I've taken 1 lot out. This is some random tomatoes and some random swan gourd that got eaten by the animals, and these are the small sunflowers, but they got eaten too. And these are not doing very good too. And in the last bit we got 2 lots of carrots. These were sown by my daughter and our friend when they came down, and they're doing good. Last few of the onions left on the plot, all the rest being home. And this one, don't know what this one's doing, random thing of its own. This is my aubergine. It's actually coming through with one. It's had a few flowers, but nothing's actually taken shape. So that'll be good. So the first one here on my tomatoes is the sun gold. Nothing has been very big at the moment, and nothing's been taken off of it so far. And then the rest here are the Alicante. We've been taking some good fruits off of here. Still many to come. That's all the Alicantes. And on the left, on the end here, I've got 2 random cherry ones that I've just left. In the middle, I've got the Gardener's Delight, and they've just grown and grown and grown. I should take the tops off these soon. The lower fruits have been on the ground, so I've been having to clear away some of the older ones that have been touching the ground. But there's been some crops from these. There's still loads to come. This is the view from the other side. Look how many tomatoes are on there. Mad. And then this is still Gardener's Delight, all down the middle. So this is the chilies. Oh my word, how many chilies do you got? There are so many. So many. And just noticed, you even got a red one in there. So there's a couple more in there now. There's so many. Wow. Next along the line is the peppers. Oh my word, I've just literally seen these peppers. Look at the size of them. Oh my word. Wow. Gotta pay attention. Look at them. Didn't even know they were there. So on this side, the two broccolis came out and it gave me a bit more space. So I planted 2 sprouts in here, along with 2 sunflowers, and also the beetroot, that's there too. And also I planted some leeks under here. So I have a question. I've planted this here. And it's not what I thought it was. Can you tell me what it is? It's going pretty mad. And it's totally not what I thought it was. Can you let me know in the comments below? Because I think I made a boob. Anyway, here's the runner beans next door. They're growing tall. Not seen any beans yet. And then beside the runner beans is the sweet corn. Oh my word, look at the sweet corn. It has gone absolutely crazy in here. Absolutely crazy. And underneath I seem to be getting loads of random potatoes. Compare this sweet corn with the same sweet corn that's out in the garden. It's done nothing. So let's have a look at the cucumbers. Cucumbers were a bit of a disaster, but they seem to be turning a bit now. So I've been giving them a bit of a feed, and I gave them a bit of a haircut. And they're not actually doing too bad now. Actually bringing out some green leaves. And this one here, it's got some flowers on. These are the 2 Emilies, and they've actually got a bit greener. These are 2 beefsteak tomatoes I've put in here, and this is the melon. The melon's doing quite well. Loads of flowers on the melon. And this is what happens when you leave a cucumber. This one was hiding behind the tub, behind the polytunnel. It's rather large. And then we've got a few just random strawberries in the pots. And then the other cucumbers, which, don't know, might do something. This is Erica's Little Welsh Gardens loofah. It's been struggling along, but as it gets higher, it's getting taller. So I'm not quite sure what's going to become of that. One of my disasters was my tomato in a bottle. It's done. But I did get some tomatoes from it. And another slight disaster because of lack of water last week was my tomatoes upside down in a basket. Although they might still recover. Should give them a feed. Might still come back. And then finally in the tunnel is the 2 grapes, which are doing not too bad. So this is my polytunnel. So this is the random tomatoes, and I've just let these grow random, so they've gone really crazy tall. I have cut the bottoms, give them some air, and they have gone a bit crazy, a bit tall. I don't know what any of these varieties are, but some of these are giving out lots of fruits, so I'm not sure what they are. So this is just an experiment, just letting them grow. They've gone wild. So that was my August tour. So please subscribe and hit the like bell, and when I publish some more, you'll be notified. It's free to do, and please make a comment, as your comments have helped me keep this channel going, and thank you very much. Cheers.